Hello and welcome to a new Hypi 101 session. In this session, we are going to learn how to use GraphQL interfaces. Before we dive deeper, Hypi automatically adds a field called Hypi of type Hypi to every object that you create in your schema. We will cover the Hypi object in its own video. For now, it's useful to know that one of the things Hypi does is store the created and updated dates in this object. This way you don't have to record it manually. So let's create a new application as we have learned in the previous lectures. In the schema editor, let's define the following types. First, let's define an interface with the name payment that has the common attributes to any payment in our system: the payer, the amount, and the date of transactions. Account type is built into Hypi, and we can use the Hypi.createdDate to know when the payment was created. Then let's define a new type, credit card payment, that implements the payment interface, so it will already inherit the defined attributes and also add its own attributes. For example, holder information and credit card expiry date. Likewise, we can define a new type, cash on delivery, that implements the payment interface. This one will have physical package delivery information, such as home address, collect date time, and delivered by. Be aware that this is a hypothetical example, only for illustration purposes. If you want to implement billing, Hypi already offers robust billing features via its billing app. You can simply add it as a dependency to your apps. Observe here that address is a built-in type in Hypi core. Another observation: in other GraphQL implementations, you are required to repeat the fields from the interface. If you are experienced with GraphQL, it may seem to you like a mistake, but in Hypi, fields from the interface are automatically generated into the subtypes, so you don't need to repeat yourself. And now let's go over to Postman and create a new request. We can use the template that we have saved in the previous section, and don't forget to add the new token and the new Hypi domain for the payment app instance. Under body, let's create an account to use it as the payer field when creating payment objects. Observe here we are using a create account, which is a built-in mutation in Hypi. The type of value variable here is account input. So let's go to the GraphQL schema, which we have imported earlier, and have a look at the fields on the account type. Observe that the account input is auto-generated by Hypi to map the actual type fields for the mutation. We will cover input types in a separate video. Also observe the required fields marked with an exclamation mark, username and password. These are mandatory fields. This should give you a recipe for how to find out type information while working on Hypi. And now let's provide the values that will be used to create an account in the following JSON object. Now that you have already mastered abstract queries, let's create two payments, one that is credit card and another one that is cash on delivery. The credit card is created with the following values. Observe here that the from field has only Hypi ID, which is set to the account object that was created in the previous step. It is worth mentioning here the Hypi.impl, which stands for implementation. The impl field, which is used during the upsert, the user must provide it so that they can use an interface, and this will instruct Hypi which subtype to use when implementing the interface. Let's go to the schema definitions and look up type address, and let's take note of the fields available on the address type. And likewise, let's look up the country type. Observe here only the name is required, but if the country already exists, you need to use the ID. So we can now create the values for the cash on delivery object. With these two objects created, it's now time to do a find query. And similarly, we can do another find query for cash on delivery. In this session, we have learned the GraphQL interface and have implemented a hypothetical example. In the next session, we are going to explore the magic Hypi object. Thank you and see you in the next session.